The next one is from Matt Exford, and on that was from Twitter. Should F1 introduce mid-race refueling for the batteries in the same way Formula E is planning to for 2022? It would look a little bit more green and less fossil fuely. So obviously F1 will eventually have to reduce its carbon footprint, and we know it's going to head in that direction in the next 10, 20, 30 years. I think we've done something on the podcast before talking about the future of Formula One when Honda announced their exit. Should they introduce mid-race refueling for batteries? I don't know. I really don't know.
Are we talking about the ERS here? We're talking about like the...
I think so, yeah. The deployment, which would so the deployment. I think any more strategy involved in the race obviously creates opportunity for other teams to out-strategize one another. So for that reason, I quite like to encourage, refueling of the batteries during the race. But also, I haven't said this season once that I feel like it's necessary. This season's been so varied and so up and down with results. I haven't said once that, we need to bring back refueling. I've thought that about previous seasons, but because the season's been so good, hasn't really crossed my mind. So I wouldn't mind. What's your thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Not really sure what the logistics of such a thing would be to recharge a battery, because obviously they need it to be, they'd probably want it to be pretty quick. One thing I like about the way pit stops currently work is that they're fast. When you watch older F1, where they have refueling and the like, and everything is that much slower. I don't know. I quite like the drama of having to have a really fast pit stop. I quite like that. How much it would slow it down, I have no idea. The concept is an interesting one, though, because let's say everyone is going around with, somewhere in the middle of 60% battery. And if you could suddenly charge up and come out of the pits and choose to charge your battery up, like you wouldn't have to do it, but you could choose to take maybe an extra second to go up to 100% battery, or maybe introduce an overcharge feature where you could go to 120%, there would be an incentive to do that. Yeah, it could be kind of interesting. It's certainly an interesting concept. Whether it would make it more green and use less fossil fuels, I don't have the expertise to say for certain, but it's a really interesting concept, and maybe it's something that we might see in the future as the electrical component of as the engine becomes more significant, which I think we will almost certainly see happen.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
And that's all of the questions that we got. I mean, thanks very much, everyone, for your questions. That's really, really appreciated, and we love going into all of those.